Every troll has their own brand of denial, deceit, and delusion. I mean, just yesterday we were doing a story about, it was about some assault. And the troll came in and said, no, that's wrong, this is what happened, what happened. When somebody presented her a newspaper article showing what really happened, she got very indignant that all of us did not take the time to educate her prior to her making an idiot about herself as she went deeper and deeper and deeper into denial, deceit, and delusion. Same thing happened today again when we did a story involving there was some child abuse going on. So she went to Twitter to tell people that, no, white people are the ones doing all the child abusing. No, it's all white people. And I gave her a story from the New York Times showing the opposite. I gave her a government study, a lot of statistics, a lot of numbers, showing that the rate of child abuse among black children is probably 2-3 times higher than white children, maybe 5 times higher than Asian children. She didn't like that either. She got very indignant at all these people telling her she didn't know what the hell was going on. She wanted more numbers. She wanted something that did not exist. But can't we just take a shortcut to the numbers? The numbers are easy to find. But there's another way to look at this too. When we say black violence and crime is wildly out of proportion, we give examples of that. I mean, wouldn't it be just as easy to say, well, look, here's an example of 2 black people shooting a pizza delivery person, I think East Liberty, I don't know, where's that? No, Pittsburgh. Well, wouldn't it be, if white people are doing this too, wouldn't it be just as easy to say, hey, Colin, here's an example of 2 white people who lured this pizza delivery driver into the neighborhood and they killed him. They killed the driver. 2 white kids did that. No, that's a black thing. Overwhelmingly a black thing. So I treat every story like that. That's what we're just going to look here. We're going to look at 4 recent stories. Each one is a challenge. Say, hey, if white kids are doing this too, if white people are doing this too, let me know. We always issue that challenge, but we never get a reply.
2 teenagers are now under arrest today. They are charged in the murder of a local pizza delivery driver. Take a look. 18-year-old D'Ambrose Garland and 17-year-old Timothy Walls are facing several charges, including homicide, robbery, and conspiracy. Walls, even though he's 17, is being charged as an adult. Police tracked them down to a home in Lincoln, Leamington yesterday. They're accused of killing this 56-year-old man last Saturday while he was out on a pizza delivery run for Domino's in East Liberty.
News since 5 o'clock, we spoke to the son of a 94-year-old woman brutally attacked in her own home. He says his mother is traumatized. Channel 2's Taisha Fernandez is live in DeKalb County. And Taisha, the suspect is still in jail this afternoon.
Jovita, everyone I spoke to in this neighborhood had something nice to say about the suspect. They said he would walk through the neighborhood just like this, speaking to everyone looking for work. But what he's accused of doing at this home right here has him locked up right now with no bond.
I think he grew up in the neighborhood. So.
At one time, residents on Daniel Avenue in DeKalb County loved to see Reginald Pass ride through the neighborhood on his bike.
I did trust him. Yeah, he was really nice, and he spoke every time he rode his bike by.
He's known as the guy in the neighborhood you can hire to do odd jobs.
Well, he was a go-getter to get yard work as much as he can, and he works hard when he does work, but sometimes he's prone to not show up when he's supposed to.
On September 30th, police arrested Pass for allegedly attacking a 94-year-old woman who lived in this house alone. She said he's done yard work for her in the past as well. But on this particular day, police say he forced his way through the door, beat the woman, and threatened to kill her. The police report says there was blood spatter on the kitchen and bedroom floor, and the victim had a black left eye with a laceration and swelling to her face. Marty Reitmeyer said she's been hiring Reggie Pass to do work in her yard for the last 20 years. But recently, she said he's had a drug problem and he started knocking on her door at 2 a.m.
We just say, Reginald, we're not open the door. You need to go home, and he does.
Right.
He never tried to force himself in, so.
I spoke to the victim's son on the phone in the last hour. He said his mother is normally very independent, lived here alone, but since this incident, she's been just traumatized, and neighbors said they really hope the suspect gets the help he needs.
Now new at 5, police say we're all safer following the arrest of 3 teens accused in a series of robberies and a murder all within a day and a half. Channel 2 Action News was in court as the suspects went before a judge today. Channel 2 Gwinnett County Bureau Chief Tony Thomas live in Swanee on this. And Tony, one teen couldn't believe the charges against her this afternoon.
Justin, a man says as he walked on this sidewalk between hotels on Celebration Drive, a teenage girl walked up to him, asked him if he had a phone charger. When he said no, he says another teen came up, stuck a gun in his face, and robbed him of everything he had on him. Police now believe those 2 teens and a third had actually killed a man in a robbery just 5 hours earlier. That girl seemed very surprised in court when her charges were read.
You have 3 warrants for armed robbery and 1 warrant for felony murder.
And apparently shocked, Fernanda Torres threw glares at her 2 co-defendants, Nicholas Evans and Khalil Miller, before the magnitude of her situation seemed to settle in.
Those are the charges that are pending right now.
Miller seemed surprised, too, by a second armed robbery charge. Evans had taken it all in by the time his charges were read. All 3 are accused in the murder of William Tunchez near a trail off North Cliff Drive last week, in the middle of what police believe was a 30-hour crime spree.
We do believe it was a set-up robbery.
William Jr. left us many beautiful memories.
The arrest is good news for Tunchez's parents and his church family. They all recently gathered to celebrate his life on the very stage where he played piano for his Gwinnett County congregation.
Sometimes young people are in the wrong place at the wrong time and with the wrong people.
Investigators say they're not sure how Tunchez and the 3 teens made their connection. Tunchez had no connection, I'm told, to the neighborhood where he was shot and killed. But jail records show suspect Nicholas Evans lived just down the street.
And all 3 were identified as being at the scene.
And in court documents I went through today, police accuse Evans of being the actual trigger man in that murder. And they say Torres, the female, would be used to lure the other men in.
Only see on Fox 46, and take a look at this video. A couple is seen throwing food and drinks at a bartender at Pinky's West Side Grill and then running off. Fox 46's Amber Roberts joins us now live from Pinky's on Moorhead Street in the Bryant Park neighborhood where this happened. And Amber, the woman has been identified, but what about the man?
Brian, they have not been able to track him down. When they caught up with the woman that was captured on the surveillance video, she told officers she did not know the man she was with. However, workers here at this very popular restaurant do not believe that. The 2 were seen riding in the same car, sitting at the bar together, and were on the same bill. Officers are working to make sure both are charged. This woman and this man walked inside of Pinky's West Side Grill on Moorhead Street. Workers say they struck a bartender in the face when they threw their cups and food at him. This is the serious cut to his cheek that had to get stitched up. Workers like Lauren Eccles couldn't believe it.
I did hear doom, doom, doom. Then, of course, at this point, I turned around. There's a gash on my bartender's face. There's cups that are broken, and there's food that have been just slammed around.
In the aftermath of the incident, you see people inside, both workers and customers, stepping up to get those unruly patrons out. They also call 911.
So I'm not sure what kind of justice my family here would like. I do know that because he was hurt, we need to see something out of that. But I also think that people that may be exhibiting this behavior also need just as much help as we do.
Let's rewind. While waiting for their to-go orders. After paying, workers say they wrote an inappropriate message on the tip line and started demanding a refund. Then, as you can see, they began throwing everything they could get their hands on, including the food they ordered. The man's cup struck the bartender directly in the face.
If you hear anybody talking about the topic of black violence out of proportion and crime, the newspaper is very, very eager to label somebody like that a white nationalist or a white supremacist. But really, I've always anybody who watches these videos and reads my books, you know I reject all that. There's a place for people in the not even in the middle, the overwhelming number of people in this country, white people, Asian people, who look at this level of black criminality and they go, what the hell's going on here? I don't have a problem putting my hand out in friendship to anybody who offers me theirs.
Bring the bees and fly.
But when we see the same stuff going on day after day after day after day, it's not white nationalism or white supremacy to say, hey, what the hell's going on? We need a better answer than the talking heads on TV who insist all this black violence and criminality is a figment of our fevered white racist imaginations. Everybody is so eager to believe this little fairy tale they concoct for themselves. White people do it too, Colin. Oh, it's not really happening. My favorite, of course, is white people deserve it. And so here we are. We're waiting. If you see some stuff like this happening, if you think we got it wrong, give us some examples. Okay, stick to the pizza thing. Give me some example of white kids robbing and killing pizza delivery drivers. Go ahead. Make my day. Even if that does make the black kids angry.
No more.